And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Slow Motion Broadcasting for the Ray Esports Club Racing League, round number 4. We are live from Willow Springs this evening. And my name is Adam Thompson, the Dry Thompson. And joining me is not Ron Maunz, it is Charles Bochelle tonight. And Charles, we are in for a heck of a good doubleheader here tonight.
Oh, we absolutely are, Adam. This is the Formula V's, and our second race will be the Spec Racer 4s, and we're here at wonderful Willow Springs, old school, really a test track more than anything else. But I know that the actual SCCA league runs a lot here, and so we're going to put these cars on this track. It's a fantastic track. We're in for, I think, probably one of the best nights of racing of the entire season for Ray Esports. It's going to be amazing.
This 2.5 mile track sitting in Rosamond, California, about 80 miles north of Los Angeles. And of course, one of the big things about this track is that this was in the movie Ford versus Ferrari. If you've never seen it, highly recommend it. Great movie about the 1964 Le Mans. When Ford took their GT3, the first time they built a race car of that such, and took on Ferrari in their dominant GT car. Of course, here we got Formula V's, which I think we're going to be kind of in for an excitement in this first race just because of the drafting, Charles, and just talk about the long straights in the draft with the Formula V.
Yeah, these cars, and it's going to be even more pronounced when we get to Spec Racer in the next race, but these cars draft really well. Obviously not quite the same speed as a Ford GT40, but still some good side-by-side racing everywhere we go. It's just a wide track, so there's lots of room to race. Really long straightaways. The curbs, there's a couple of corners that are tight once we get up into the Budweiser balcony area. But for the most part, pretty wide open racing. Some nice corners that you can race together with. So yeah, it's going to be a fantastic race, and anytime Ray Esports comes here, they always put on a good show.
Well, let's take a look. We're already into qualifying, a 15-minute qualifying session as we are on board with Brad Cathcart. And Cathcart now just navigating his way through. Josh Justice was pulled for just a moment, but Trenton Kramer takes pole with a 138.5. Joshua Justice falls down to third. Cathcart was a little late getting out there for qualifying. Michael Lynn with a 138.679. Matt Thompson steals away the second spot with a 138.5, I think 39. So fastest lap time so far, a 138.512 from Trenton Kramer, as we are still on board here with Brad Cathcart, all the way on the other side of the hemisphere from down under. So he is, well, I guess right now it's afternoon in that morning time of the world.
This is his morning. This is his morning race. So he's having his coffee, and he's out racing with us early in the morning down there in Australia. I'm glad we got to see a little bit of onboard there. As you can see, there's not as much, nothing in the way of runoff area other than just dirt. But however, you have to be very careful. This has got the old school. Basically, it's just brick curbs on the side of the track. It's just basically a 4-inch riser running around these corners, and if you get on it, it's difficult to get back over because it's just the way these things are designed. You can kind of ride the edge of it, but once you jump over it, it's almost impossible to get back over the curb, back onto the track without really unsettling the car. And if you're in a tight pack, then you're in for potentially a world of hurt.
Brad Cathcart went 6th fastest with a 138.881 and actually gets pushed down the running order to 8th fastest as Andrew Love goes to the 5th spot with a 138.7. Joseph Tarantino went to 6th with a 138.7. Scott Russell, a 138.821. But your quick time so far, Trenton Kramer, he even went faster with a 138.472. So we're already on the lower ends of the 38s, and I don't know if we're going to see any faster as Matt Thompson goes with a 138.499. Current running order: Trenton Kramer, Matt Thompson, Joshua Justice, Michael Lynn, Andrew Love, Joseph Tarantino, Scott Russell, Brad Cathcart, Chuck Labano, Jim Brewster, Jacob Schilling, Spec Spielman, Jaquan Effinger, John Casey, Wayne Buttermore, Gary Kittle, Christian Rice Puto, Ken Estep, and Edgar Sancinelli, thank you.
Yep.
Has not put up a lap time yet, as we are currently following our pole sitter. We got one off. Sancinelli went off the track during their qualifying here. Let's take a look. Oh, just lost the rear end of the car. And yeah, that's a tough spot to be in too.
Yeah. Luckily, looks like we're in like a closed qualifying session. Yeah, that's coming off of Monroe Ridge is it's a pretty tough little sector. It's one of the more technical sections as you're coming off the top of the hill from the balcony down. Obviously, you got all the weight kind of leaning forward. Gravity's assisting you down the hill, and sometimes it wants to play a little havoc with you when you're on the brakes. So a little spin, but no harm, no foul. Can try and rev it back up. Got plenty of time to try and get another lap in. So we see just very carefully. Yeah, you can just see these curbs just very, very gingerly through there. You got to take as much of it as you can. You got to use all the track, but there's not really a good place to where you can extend your track limits without the potential for disaster.
Yeah, and you can see what I find unique about this. There's a big old GoPro on the roll bar.
Yeah.
Very interesting detail to the Formula V's. But Joshua Justice, a winner here, week number 1 in the Formula V's at Homestead, Miami, on the road course there, and now just trying to stay in the top 3. Currently has a couple hundredths advantage over Michael Lynn, but that can very well change as we still have over 7 minutes, just under 7 minutes of qualifying to go. So we only got just a few minutes here, but can they find the time? And Trenton Kramer, in the midst of all this, has put up a 138.367. I'm not sure how in the world you found that time, as we were just seeing people creep under the 138.4s, but to put up a 138.3, he has found some speed. He has not won a race here this season in the Formula V's or the Spec Racer Ford, as he just goes through turn number 2, which is kind of, some of these corners are interesting names. That's Rabbit's Ear. The next set of corners we're coming up to, it's not this set of corners, it's actually turns 6. Is that turn 6 if I'm looking at my map correctly here? It's this turn right here coming up. This is called Budweiser Balcony. Yeah. I think all of us can appreciate that name for that corner. So, and down the hill he goes. Again, not a ton of elevation on this track here at Willow Springs, but here he goes. Trenton Kramer going through Monroe Ridge, and then down kind of a longish straight with a little bit of a kink into Wings Leg is what that is called, and then the sweeper. And then, of course, the final turn is called Turn 9. So they couldn't, I guess they couldn't figure out a name for the final turn, so they just said Turn 9.
Yeah, basically once you get past Monroe Ridge, I think it's pretty well flat for these cars all the way back to the start-finish line. So not much in the way of having to do any braking once you get to the backside of this circuit. But yeah, not a lot of elevation, but obviously you can see the onboard. You can see the top of the track from here, looking up at the balcony from the start-finish line. But just a beautiful scenery. You're sitting up here just north of LA, as you mentioned, kind of a high plateau. As we see a little run here, and we're going to get a little jump action. Here we go.
Hey, there it is. Land it. He lands it.
Didn't quite make it.
Hey, he's back on all fours.
So yeah, Trenton's had some good runs this season. Just hadn't found the top step of the podium yet. But this might be the start of a good streak for him.
Yeah, no, definitely a high speed track. for the Formula V's.
Yes.
And we're going to take a look one more time at this jump. Let's see. Yep, he's lining her up. Little puppy coming in, but he finds the jump, does a front flip, does another flip, trying to figure out if he can land the car. I say he stuck the landing. All right,
That's pretty good.
You don't get much better than that.
If you can drive away from it, I think you've stuck the landing. How about that?
I mean, he doesn't have a nose, but it's okay. So we only got a few minutes here of qualifying. Trenton Kramer, currently your fastest qualifier, 138.367. Matt Thompson in the 233, trying to figure out if he can get that time, but he is well over a tenth away, and it's hard to find in these slower cars, especially if you're like me who's raced the Skippy. It is hard to find just those tenths.
Yeah.
And especially when you are giving it everything you have on a high-speed circuit like this. If this was a place like Summit Point or Homestead or somewhere that's tighter, it's a little bit easier because you have a lot more corners that you can really find it through. But here, you only got truly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 corners.
Yep.
So you gotta be able to just be able to throw the car into those corners, and that's what I think Trenton Kramer has done. I'm guessing there was a couple of sketchy moments during his qualifying run.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to get a good view here of turn 9. There's a little bump right there on the apex at the very edge of the track. And we've seen some drama come out of that when somebody just takes that wrong, unsettles the car, gets a little squirrely. That'll be even more prominent once we get to the Spec Racer race coming up after this. So look for that to be one of those points of where you think that just when you think that you've got everything figured out, you catch that little divot, and the next thing you know, you're over in the dirt. So yeah, you're right. It takes a lot to find a 10th. Once you've pretty much set 2 or 3 good laps, it's like, all right, now where else can I find, a half a tenth of a second? Because I felt like that was a really, really solid lap. No mistakes, good line all the way around. And so sometimes it's just how much more braver do you think you can be with the car? But as you can see, we've got basically a top 10 or half second apart. So it's going to be one of those races, with you're within 8 or 9 tenths of a second from the car in front, you've got a chance to make some of that time up as you're getting in that draft, and you're just getting a toe down these straightaways, and a lot of the things that normally would be a little bit of a lift, and some more higher powered cars, or even a touch of the brakes. It's just flat with these, and so you're just as hard as you can go for the majority of the lap.
Well, we only got a minute to go here, and I'm guessing lap times are not going to change very much as Ryan Campbell goes second at 138.487, right at the bell pretty much. And now Matt Thompson has fallen down to third, and he's going to have to figure out something else here. He's only got to gain 100th of a second as he is taking another lap here, and this will be his final lap. I don't even think he'll get all the way around.
Yeah, with the close qualifying, I think it kicks at 15 minutes, so I don't think he's going to finish this lap.
No, he's not. It is going to be way too long. So there it is. Trenton Kramer, your fastest qualifier, 138.367. Tonight's broadcast of Ray Esports Club Racing League on Slow Motion Broadcasting is brought to you by SimMotion. SimMotion is a store by sim racers for sim racers, carrying everything from button boxes to steering wheels and the best brands from the sim racing world, including Moza, Huskenfeld, and many, many more. With decades of experience in the industry, SimMotion is a great choice for sim racers in both North America and Europe looking to upgrade their simulators. If you'd like to check out what SimMotion has to offer, go to us.sim-motion.com. Again, that is us.sim-motion.com. SimMotion is not only a sponsor of the official Formula 1600 series here on iRacing, but it is a proud partner of the Ray Esports Club Racing League. And feel free to use their discount code RAY, then the number 5, Again, Ray and then the number 5 at checkout for some very sweet discounts. So the field gridded up here. Charles, let's take a look at the lineup here at Willow Springs for the first round. Front row is going to be Trenton Kramer in the 444 on his inside. The number 21, Ryan Campbell.
Yeah, Matt Thompson starts in row 2 on the inside. Brad Cathcart on the outside, starting in 4th.
Row number 3, Joshua Justice in the 99 and the 44 of Michael Lynn on his inside.
Yeah, that's Michelle Lynn. So we don't want to make her mad because she's one of the admins, I think. So we want to keep her happy. Andrew Love starts 7th, along with Joseph Tarantino on the outside in 8th.
Row number 5, Chuck Labano in the number 4, all the way in Canada, and the 22 of Scott Russell in 10th.
Yeah, my buddy Jim Brewster starts 11th. On the outside is Jacob Schilling starting 12th.
And then outside of the 12, number in 13th, the 57 of Edgar Sancinelli on his inside, because I think pole position starts on the outside here, if I'm not mistaken. The 70 or the 552 of Jason Gritter.
Yep, and Seth Spolman starts 15th. John Casey of Frito Sport starts in P16.
And your 8th or 9th row, the 700 of Jaquan Eppinger and Christian Rice Pudo, a winner here last week at Summit Point.
Gary Kittle starting 19th. Wayne Buttermore outside of row 10, or the opposite of row 10 in P20. And then finishing up the grid is Ken Estep in 21st, and that is your 21-car grid for tonight's race.
Well, there we go. We got everybody on the grid, pace card pacing the field as they go through Budweiser balcony. And you can see the big old Budweiser balcony sign in the background. Everybody, all the virtual fans cheering. We hope you're cheering at home too. Make sure you in chat get the hype up for your favorite driver as we get ready to go 30 minutes around the famous Willow Springs in beautiful California. Beautiful day, track temperature good. These tires are going to get some nice heat into them, and we should be in for some action. There's the temperature there. It's 67 degrees air temperature, track temperature 77 degrees, so a perfect day for racing at Willow Springs with a little bit of a wind of 12 miles per hour. And all the field just waiting for this pace car to go. As they approach turn number 9, you'll see that pace car go off, and the leader has controlled the field at that point. And it will be very interesting to see what will happen here in the first race. Again, a doubleheader after this. We head to the Spec Racer Ford, and that should be an epic race as well. So, Charles, are we ready?
Yeah, we're ready to go. Let's get this party started. Let's get these cars.
Tell that Toyota Camry to get off the track.
Yeah, for sure.
I will say this is kind of a long pace lap. And there it goes. There goes the pace car off, and we are they are taking their time with this. Let's go. There we go. Green flag is in the air, and away we go in the Formula V's around Willow Springs. Everybody still side by side down the front straight. No shenanigans happening as they fall into turn number 1. You saw a little bit of a brake lock up further back, but Trenton Kramer still out in front. He blocks Ryan Campbell, but Ryan Campbell still goes down the end, tries to go around the outside into turn number 2. Everybody still hanging along though, side by side. Kramer takes that inside, dips a tire into the dirt, but continues on. Everybody else giving some good space. That's one of the nice things about Willow Springs, is that there's a lot of space for everybody to be able to fit into. But here comes Ryan Campbell trying to stick it around the outside. As they go into the Budweiser corner, Kramer is off in the dirt and has not just lost 1 position, but has lost 2. Almost has lost 3 positions here in the opening lap, Charles.
Yeah, absolutely. Just got a little too deep on the inside of that corner. As we spin, that's Matt Thompson. Nobody. Oh, no. Ooh. little sympathy spin behind, maybe. I don't know. That's Jason Grider. Who else we got back there? Jacob Schilling. And to see another spin.
Oh.
Just lots of problems right here in Monroe Ridge at the very beginning of this race.
Oh, and that was a very unsafe join there to the track as the last place car of Kittle goes for a spin as well, coming through Monroe Ridge. And now, right now, your race leader, Ryan Campbell, Joshua Justice in P2, and he is right there sniffing the rear end of Ryan Campbell as they go down the front straight here. And this could get very interesting. Josh Justice has one Formula V win on the season. He's trying to make it have two and be at least a 50% win rate on the season. And Ryan Thompson having a little bit of a blinking issue. As we look further back, side by side, you have Michelle Lynn, who's falling down to 5th after being chased down by Trenton Kramer, as Andrew Love has gained 4 spots into 3rd. He's that yellow and white car in front of this pack. And then you've got Brad Cathcart, the first car we saw on track today during the qualifying session. And look at all that exhaust going right into the driver's face. That's not going to be very pleasant, but luckily they can still be able to see through that. But Cathcart, he is wheeling that car all the way through Budweiser balcony as they go down the hill now, trying to capture this lead group, but the lead group having quite the gap on them right now of about 2/10. And now Ryan Campbell, Joshua Justice were side by side for just a moment, unless Ryan Campbell has just disappeared. He did for just a moment, but he's back on the screen now. That's got to be frustrating for Joshua Justice, because you know he's there, but he's blinking quite a bit. Michelle Lynn moving up into 4th here, as now it's a 1.6 second gap between Brad Cathcart and Joshua Justice.
Yeah, so these two guys up front, they're going to want to stay nose to tail as much as they can. Ooh, there's that inside corner. You got to be very careful there in turn 9. You can see the car just get too deep in the apex and off over that curb. Saw the car bouncing across the track. Luckily, nobody made contact, as we see 3 wide going into turn 1 here. And wisely just kind of backs out of that. Nice job there.
Michelle Lynn taking 3rd, though, away from Brad Cathcart, who's now down to 5th.
Yeah, so, topsy-turvy. Like I said, I think the two guys up front want to stay nose to tail for as much as they can and just try and extend this race out and maybe build that gap. The more they battle up front, Justice decides he wants to take the lead. He's going to have to make that pass and make it stick and not have any battling side by side, because as soon as they start doing that, it's just going to bring these cars from 3rd down back into that fight for the lead.
Well, now, if you're part of this 4-car, 5-car pack, you might want to form up as well, because then you all can start pushing yourselves out to the lead here. And we got some replays of the earlier incident at Monroe Ridge. You can see, again, lots of space here. Luckily, nobody was collected in these incidences through Monroe Ridge. And there's one. That's Jaquan Effinger.
Yeah.
So close.
Just snuck through there. Yeah, you can just see maybe just a little hard on the brakes, as just maybe misjudged the entry speed and kind of lost the rear end of the car. We're on here now with Gary Kittle, and he sees that car and just sneaked through. And you can see, you can absolutely see what happens if you get over that curb. Like I said, it's like just climbing up a step as you're trying to get back on the track. Very, very difficult, as we're going to get another replay here. This is Jacob Schilling.
He's really wheeling it through there into Monroe Ridge, and you can just see everybody just trying to figure out 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that's just reactions. They saw the car, they saw the smoke up front, and it's like, oh, let me lock this down, and then we'll just have to see if we can make the time up.
Well, it's just a lot like the Daytona 24 Hours on iRacing just a couple weeks ago. A lot of follow the leaders in those races. If you were one of the fortunate people like me who did not have to deal with the rain. Yes, but somebody going out wide. Who is that? That's John Casey. That's lap traffic. He wanted no part of that and got out of the way quickly, which is great to see. Some good instincts there. But now we take a look at Michelle Lynn Going side by side is Trenton Kramer. Around the outside, around that little kink, down the back straight called Wings Legs. And Trenton Kramer takes back a spot and moves himself into third after starting on the pole. And now he's got a lot of ground to make up, and Michelle Lynn is not going to go anywhere lightly because she is right there. She is just staying right in his draft, what little draft there is, and goes side by side down the front straight. And now we're 3 wide as they come across the start-finish line, almost 4 wide. And let's see, I got a bad feeling about that. Nope, luckily Andrew Love gets out of that before they went into turn 1. That could have been a little bit of a disaster, I feel like.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So luckily, yeah, they managed to get that 3 wide was never going to work through the, turn 1. Wisely backed out. Andrew having a good race so far, running P6 up in position. Looks like that there's a lap car up in front of the leaders. That may help this group out. May slow them down ever so slightly to allow them to make up a little bit of that time. Because
the lap cars have actually, that is P19 of Wayne Buttermore already behind the leaders. So the leader making quick work of some lap traffic here. And it's still Ryan Campbell out in front of Joshua Justice, but we'll be very curious to see if Joshua Justice is kind of conserving some energy here, not wanting to put up much of a fight until the very last lap or the last couple of laps here. And now Michelle Lynn and this group of cars behind her are going to make quick work of Buttermore. Again, very interesting track to have these Formula Vs on. Again, a lot of space, and you can see Andrew Love is actually trying to make a move around the outside to make it a little bit quicker and stay with this pack. Did not gain any positions, but here goes Trenton Kramer again. Has a good run out of turn 9 down the front straight again. Now we start another lap side by side with Lynn as they go into turn number 1, and this time he actually has a nose just slightly out in front, but Michelle Lynn says, no, you are not taking that spot that easily. Continues to maintain side by side as they go into turn number 2, and Trenton Kramer finally gets the spot back and tips a tire into the dirt. But you got to be careful here. Michelle Lynn, very good pace so far. Fastest lap actually goes to her for the race with a 1:38.1. So that is incredible that we're seeing some very quick lap times here. The leaders are not even achieving that just yet. Kramer did have a 38.16, but a 1:1 for Michelle Lynn means she ain't going anywhere anytime soon. Further back, we got Jaquan Effinger and Christian Rice-Puto as they are going up the hill into Budweiser balcony, and Christian Rice-Puto made a move down the inside and goes off the track. Oh, it just didn't get the car slowed down enough and be able to make that turn in. Where are you going, sir? What is happening here? Don't go on track. Don't go on track. Okay.
Okay. He said, yeah. He said, I think I've had enough of this for tonight. Yeah. The quick tow back to the pits. This is probably the most difficult set of corners, that just coming up to the balcony and then down off of that high point on the track is probably the most difficult set of corners just to try and get right. I know when I first started driving this track, that was the section of the track that really struggled with for the longest part of time. So, just you can see that you want to take so much speed in there, and then you're slowing down. You're getting a gravity assist to get the car wound up. Then you get to the top of it, and you think, oh, I can floor it now, but you really can't. You got to kind of give it a beat and work your way around that top corner before you can get back on the throttle to come down the hill. And it's a little bit of a timing thing. You just really have to run some laps to get used to.
Kramer, who was in the third spot, has now fallen back to 6 in this scrum. Matt Thompson has a drive-through. That's interesting. Oh,
well, I think that's taking the fast repair. Actually, you might have had a little bit of damage on the car. So, jump into the pits, take the fast repair, get back out. Obviously, lost a good 30 seconds worth of time on track. So he'll be out running just some laps by himself for a while. Maybe he'll find a partner to run with for a little bit of this race as we're past the 11-minute mark. And this group is still battling. It just concerns me because if they keep battling like this, and those front two stay nose to tail, they'll end up 5 or 6 seconds behind before you know it, and there'll be no way for them to make up that time. As we see that Andrew Love coming off the track, just taking that wide line a little too far. So it found the edge of the adhesion out there on the outside of turn 9.
Well, yeah, and you're right there, Charles, as Kramer has now taken back the 3rd spot, but for some reason, somewhere in the middle of the lap, he loses all that time and goes back into 6th. So I want to keep our eyes on Kramer if we can, to see exactly where he messes up. Jim Brewster, the 993, just maintaining 8th. Here they come up come towards Budweiser balcony. Now he's in the 3rd spot, but I gotta see what happens here, because what ends up happening, he maintains 3rd, and then he's back to 6th before the start of the lap. And this time, he may maintain it. Looks like he will through Budweiser balcony, but now he's got to get through Monroe Ridge. I think this is where he struggled, if I am thinking this through correctly. Looks like he's not struggling this time, as he's able to break away from this pack behind him with Michelle Lynn, Brad Cathcart, Chuck Labano, and Andrew Love. This is about a 5-car battle for this 3rd spot, now a 4-car battle for the 4th spot. And Michelle Lynn having to defend off, but gets hung out on the outside, and on her inside is going to be Chuck Labano from Canada. And Labano is actually going to take that, and Michelle Lynn falls back into 6th, as Andrew Love is just right there. But this group of cars, I feel like something's going to happen between these cars now, because these guys are getting a little wobbly bobby. And now Kramer down the front straight. What happened there? Did he get a slowdown?
No, he's just getting hung out to dry. This once they come off of Monroe Ridge, these cars that are in from 4th down to 8th, they're just lining up and they're just using the draft, and they're just making the time up. Let Kramer work his way through. Is there Love way on the outside there? Kramer just works his way through and gets up to the top, gets up to the lead of this group, and then the next thing you know, all these cars behind, they get the draft working, 4 cars together, and they just leave him in the dust. They just drive by him. And so they just get that good run. And so next thing you know, Kramer's in the back of this group again.
So interesting what's happening to Trenton Kramer again, the pole sitter, now down to 7th, having to navigate this 5-car gackle of cars is what I'll say to that. And now he's even further back. The lead group now is 2.3 seconds as Michelle Lynn takes back the 3rd spot away from Labano. Labano's on the outside. He may be hung out to dry. Now Kramer, this time, he's going to the outside. He did that on purpose, maybe trying to find a little extra speed here and trying just to navigate this group, but isn't making up all that time. Gets a little bit of a block from Labano, and now Kramer puts down the loud pedal and just trying to just find his way through. But it's going to be hard now to get up to this front group with a 2.2 second lead. These guys just need to be single file like this lead group is, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
I think they decided they're just going to race each other, which is, that's what racers do. They say, hey, there's a car beside me. I'm going to be in front of him. I don't want him to be in front of me, so that I'm going to try and get to the front of this pack, and then we'll see if we can get to the next pack. And then the next thing you know, obviously they're getting passed again. But yeah, you could just see, I think Love actually kind of showed us something with that outside line through turn 9. You can get a really good slingshot off that corner. No! That's the 4-car. That's Labano.
He hit the side of the hill there and just went for a ride there. And Labano is the first car out of that group to make a big enough mistake. And he most likely won't be catching up with him. Now watch what happens here. Takes a good line going up the hill, but gets a little wide, hits the curb, and That's all she wrote.
Yep.
And this is like the old style like curbing too.
It is.
You know, that thick curbing that you don't see anymore. They're pretty flat. All they are is really rumble strips. These curves on this track, they're curves. You know they're there when you hit them.
Yeah, it's a nice little graduated angle on the inside, but as I said, it's basically it's like you know, on the outside of that curb, it's like basically pulling up to a parking spot that's got the little you know, the little concrete pad right in front of it, so yeah, that's the thing is it's pretty easy to get over to the off of the track, but coming back on the track, as you can see, just deadly if you get it wrong.
Very deadly. Yeah. And we are approaching here. We're at 17 minutes of this 30-minute race. So the time ticking down here. Here's Brewster, Jim Brewster in the 7th spot. And Labano is there trying to get around the 933. But this time, you know, has to be a little bit careful because here they come all the way through up to Budweiser balcony. Doesn't make the same mistake twice, so very smart there by Labano. But Labano is not going to go anywhere just yet. But Brewster doing a great job defending through some of these corners, not allowing Labano to get clear. But Labano is getting on the loud pedal as we speak. Right there now is going to be looking on the inside. Yeah, on the inside as they go down really what we would call the back straight. Actually has a full car length out in front, but Brewster is there trying to hold it around the outside, but Labano's not going to let him as they head through turn number 9. And who's that behind him? That's Sancinelli, as he is right there. He actually has gained 4 spots in this race after starting outside the top 10.
Yeah, he's having a good run. He's just kind of working his way up a little bit. As you see, he's got that run coming up behind Labano. He's going to jump to the inside here and see if he can make this pass and going to get 2 cars for 1.
Three wide.
3 wide. 3 wide through that corner. A little bit deep, but yeah, Brewster a little bit wide on the outside, but you can see obviously lots of racing room for these cars on this track. And I haven't mentioned this yet, but the corners do have some nice banking. So it makes that outside line a little more tantalizing. So you can get a good run out there if you do it properly.
Now Brewster trying to get that spot back in 7th, but Labano holding it around the outside that takes the inside line, the preferred line through Budweiser balcony, and actually extends his advantage over Brewster now by just a couple of tenths now, about 4 tenths. And actually gets a good run down the hill into Monroe Ridge as we get kind of a nice kind of scenic look of the track here. You can just see Jim Brewster is really pushing it here. Now that 4-car gaggle up near the front was separated with just 2 cars, but now it's forming back into 4 cars as Michelle Lynn gets back the 3rd spot. Kramer falls back to 5th after Brad Cathcart takes away the spot. Now Cathcart, he wants to get on the podium tonight. Would be a good way to wake up this morning as they go 3 wide into turn number 1. Who is going to come out of it? It looks like Kramer is able to get the job done prior to the corner, and they are actually starting to gain a little bit more time on the leaders. It's now a 2-second gap to Josh Justice, who is just sitting there. And if I'm Josh Justice, I'm playing my cards right here. You got 10 minutes. You don't have anything you got to do. You can just sniff the exhaust all day. You'll be fine. And then just at that final lap or the last 2 laps, that's when you make your move.
That's it. I think that's exactly what Josh is setting up. You know, obviously you got a race win this year already in the Formula V. Really good in the Spec racer as well. So yeah, he's just biding his time. He said, you know what? If I do this too early, I'm going to get passed again because of the draft. So we're going to wait as late as we can make it, and we'll take it at the end. I don't have to lead all the laps. I just have to lead the last one.
Yes, exactly. But how heartbreaking would that be for Ryan Campbell, who has had just terrific pace, just good composure. But you know what that means, Charles? We're going to get some shenanigans coming down to the last 5 minutes of this one.
I would say that that's probably true, just because I've seen races on this track before. There will be some shenanigans happen. My guess is it's probably in that second group of Kramer, Lynn, Cathcart, and Love. Although those are all really, really good racers and they always race clean, but you know when you're trying to get to that final step on the podium, you're going to take as many chances as you can.
What's really disappointing about the Formula V, it's got a pointed nose on it, so you can't really bump draft. But we may see some bump drafting later in the Spec Racer Ford in our doubleheader here tonight on slow motion broadcasting. And right now, Kramer back into the third spot. Michelle Lynn not letting him go lightly as they go back up the hill to the boozers of the virtual crowd. And you can just see Kramer, he is just trying everything to just get the momentum, to try and get up to this group. And it's actually working. 1.7 seconds. Can Kramer keep that pace up without dropping the spots? But what's really helping is that group of cars is also coming with him. So that group of cars is looking at this lead group going, hey, we still got some time here. We can make up that ground. If we just work together, if we just quit fighting each other, we can get up there. We can have a 6-car battle for the lead.
That's it. That's exactly right. And I think they figured that out. I think Kramer obviously, on pole, so obviously got great speed in the car. And he's just whittling it down a little bit, a couple of tenths a lap, and getting it close as we see the positions changed again. I think Kramer is absolutely doing some testing during this race. The last couple of laps we've watched him, he's taken that outside, that wide line entry into turn 9, and loses a position. But by the time you get up here to turn 2, he's got those positions back, and he's already working his way. He's back up in P3, and he's still with that 1.5 second gap up to the lead group. So I think he's figuring things out as we're going here.
Yeah, and I think the rest of the group is too. They're probably just following his lead at this point, allowing him to get through, and just not, doesn't seem like they're fighting nearly as much anymore. But now the time's down to a second. This is huge. We're going to have a race on our hands here. As Kramer now back to his blinking issues, able to separate himself a little bit from Justice, and Justice is off the pace here. Oh no, Justice has lost about 0.3 in this one, as I would say now it's a 6-car battle for the lead.
I think you're absolutely right.
You got a half a second between first and second, half a second between second and third, and 0.2, 0.6, 0.3. This is going to be an epic finish here at Willow Springs in the Formula Vs. As now Kramer doesn't take the same line this time through turn 9 as we've seen, but he knows he's right there. He sees the gold. He wants the gold, but it's gonna take a lot of work from him right now, as now Ryan Campbell, Joshua go side by side as they go into turn number 1. Kramer is there. He looks down the inside. He thought about just a moment sending a move there, doesn't get it done. But now look at this battle. This is what we've been waiting for, ladies and gentlemen, as Joshua Justice takes the lead, but Kramer has made his way back through the field and is right there to try and take the win as they go through turn 2. And now Kramer looking around the outside. Justice not going to allow him through, puts the block on. And here comes Campbell looking to probably send a move there. Doesn't get the send done as they go into the boozers crowd. And this is where it's going to get really exciting as we have 4.5 minutes to go, Charles.
Yeah, absolutely. They're headed down the mountain, coming through Monroe Ridge, getting ready for this run down to Wings Leg, and then the sweeper and the final corner. And so you'll start seeing them spread out, taking different lines, seeing what's fast and what's not. As we see Justice, and then we get Kramer to the inside.
Yep, that's Kramer on the inside. And as well as Ryan Thompson. Ryan Thompson with just a full car length in front of Justice. But as they come down in the turn 9, what's interesting, that outside line can work and can get you a lot of speed, but you lose positions. So it's a matter of what do you want. And now we're all side by side. It's a 6-car battle for the race lead. Kramer takes back his rightful spot up in front, but Ryan Campbell may have something to say about that as he is on the inside as they barrel down turn 1. Brad Cathcart, he's also in the mix here as he was, I would say, an unexpected driver to get towards this, towards the front here. And now everybody just jockeying for position. And here we go. Michelle Lynn also in the mix now and is right there. Michelle Lynn in that in that 4th spot. Ryan Campbell blinking, but that's not going to deter anybody, it looks like, as Ryan Campbell still in the lead here, but Kramer just sticking with him as they go up the hill here into Budweiser balcony. You can just see everybody just trying to stay in the slipstream here as Kramer gets into the dirt a little bit, doesn't slow him down as they go down the hill. Kramer, is he going to make his move? I'm guessing we got 2 laps to go or 3 laps to go, Charles.
I will say 2 laps to go with the line.
All right. We'll see what the time says when we get there. But now Kramer, this time he has the inside line as they go down into turn number 9. Kramer is there. He's back out in front. Joshua Justice trying to follow through on the inside as well to take second away from Ryan Campbell and not have to worry about the blinking issues he has. You can tell that really caused him a little bit of a pain and a little bit of a bump there from Joshua Justice. You love to see it. Now they're barreling down the front straight, and this should be 2 laps to go at the line. You would be correct on that. And side by side, 2 by 2 as they go into turn number 1. Kramer takes the outside line, trying to get a little bit of momentum through, but Joshua Justice throws the block through turn 1. And now Joshua Justice back out in front. Oh man, this is great racing we're seeing here.
I mean, nose to tail is exactly what you're seeing right here. They're literally on top of each other. And it's Campbell in 3rd place, and that blinking is just, it's unnerving if you're riding behind that car because you don't know where it's going to come back because those are not like little stutters. It's pretty serious. He's gone for a couple of seconds and then he comes back, and that's just, it's really unnerving for a driver when you're riding behind that.
Yeah, it is. It is not fun. And now they're single file again as they go through Monroe Ridge. And Michelle Lynn, watch out for her. I'm going to say it now. Watch out, because if she gets a run, she could win this race. Here they go into turn 9, and they will get the white flag this time here at Willow Springs. And if you are a betting man right now, you're betting on one of the guys behind Kramer right now. Kramer hasn't had the best of lucks leading a pack. Here we go, white flag. One more time around in the Formula V's around Willow Springs. You can see the flag man just flapping that white flag all around. And here comes Michelle Lynn, 3 wide as they go into turn number 1. Can Michelle Lynn get the race lead? She does. Will she slide up the track? No, she doesn't. She's not clear. Definitely making some contact there with Justice. Justice not letting her go quietly. And here they go through turn 2. And this is where it gets a little bit sketchy because, again, it's the elevation change and the quick left to right turn change that can decide this race. Justice trying to keep on the back bumper. Kramer right there in 3rd. Here they go into Boozer County. And this is where it's going to get real interesting. Nobody getting on the dirt. Everybody just trying to keep it clean. Now down the hill. Michelle Lynn gets a little bit wide. Justice is there. Here they go down the hill. Michelle Lynn is clear. Lynn is maintaining that spot. She knows she's in a little bit of danger here leading this pack. She may have gone 1 lap too early. This is just like the Indy 500 with Pato O'Ward. Maybe gone 1 lap too early. Here comes Kramer around the outside this time. Kramer He wants to win. He started on the pole, had an incident, went far back, and now he's back out in front. But Michelle Lynn trying to hold down the inside. Justice is there as well. It's going to be a drag race here at Willow Springs in the Formula E.
Contact.
Oh, Michelle Lynn, they're coming down to the wire here. Michelle Lynn is gonna win it here at Willow Springs. No, she's not. Who is coming there? The crash there. Michelle Lynn wins. Michelle Lynn wins.
Ooh. Wow, what an ending to a race. And you called it earlier. You said shenanigans. And shenanigans is what we got. Oh, it was 3. It was going to be 4 wide. Looked like Kramer was going to have a run. He gets kind of tapped, gets some contact, had another car. Might have been Love or Cathcart working their way up through the middle with a good run from the back. And still just absolutely chaos on that final straightaway, and Michelle Lynn gets the win. Great job. Looked like she maybe went a little early, but it worked out into her favor today.
0.03 seconds. Not even 0.03, 0.02 of a second for
Crazy.
Michelle Lynn. Wow, what a race there. And she's got to be absolutely ecstatic after that one. That was a tough race, especially when it was a 2.5 second lead at one point for Ryan Campbell and Joshua Justice. Let's look at this finish again here. Here comes Brad Cathcart trying to make a late move, and Brad Cathcart gets turned by Kramer. Oh, heartbreak for Cathcart as he spins back out on track. Let's take a look at that one more time. Michelle Lynn just trying to block, just trying to do whatever she can do. And they were almost 3 wide at the finish there. And just so close. Andrew Love there at the end will pick up the 3rd spot. But our biggest mover of the race, Michelle Lynn, 5 spots in this one. Again, one more time, you could just see Michelle Lynn doing whatever she can do to block the incoming attack. And there goes Kramer and Cathcart, and it was almost a 3 wide photo finish. But Michelle Lynn is the one who will get that win. Wow.
Yeah, great race. You're right. It was Campbell and Justice for the vast majority of the race out front, leading the big group of 5 or 6 cars behind, trying to track them down 2 seconds back. Kramer, with a little bit of early drama, works his way back up to the front, is able to lead that pack back up to make it a big 6-car pack. As we can get another replay from the outside, you see Campbell off on the outside in the dirt, taking him out of a chance for the win. You got Michelle Lynn up front. She's making the car as wide as she can go, and I think that is actually what caused the contact. Was a reaction as she moves over toward the middle of the track. Cathcart moves over. Kramer's there. They touch. They're both into the wall, and that's it. And they still come across the line 4th and 5th. And the gap between the 3 cars was about 3.5 hundredths of a second at the finish line. So fantastic race finish. So let's put some fenders on these cars and let's do this again.
We could get some results from that first race. We'll take you through the field. We'll just wait for that graphic to show up. Michelle Lynn takes the win, 24 hundredths of a second. Joshua Justice, heartbreak for the 99. Andrew Love in 3rd, Kramer in 4th, Cathcart 5th, Campbell in 6th, Lobato in 7th, Brewster in 8th, Sanchinelli, good run from him tonight, in 9th, and your top 10, Seth Spielman. And who's outside the top 10, Charles?
Yeah, we got Jacob Schilling in P11, Joaquin Effinger in P12, Gary Kittle in 13th, Matt Thompson in 14th, Ken Estep in 15th, John Casey 16th, Wayne Buttermore 17th, Jason Grider 18th, Joseph Tarantino 19th, Christian Rice Pudo in 20th, and Scott Russell rounds out the 21 car finishing order. So yeah, great race. Pretty much we had 15 cars or 14 cars on the lead lap at the end of the race. So, fairly low attrition. We had a few cars a lap down, but fantastic finish up at the front and some good battles in the mid pack too.
Well, there we go. Oh. All right, so we'll get Michelle Lynn in here for just a couple of, just a quick interview with Michelle here, and just make sure that she gets the glory there. Michelle Lynn, congratulations on your win. That had to be tight at the finish.
Oh my God. I honestly had no idea what place I was in. I'm on a single monitor, cars on either side of me. I'm just stay straight, don't veer left or right, you'll hit someone. Oh my God. But let me tell you something. Andrew Love, Trenton Kramer, Brad Cathcart, we were working together the whole race, and that teamwork got us to catch up to Josh, and oh God, who was Josh running with?
Ryan Campbell.
Yes, thank you. But it was working that draft together and trying to get that time back, and then with like a lap to go, it was okay. Good luck, everyone. We're no longer working together. And I honestly, I'd like to say that was skill, but I had a couple of good drafts on that last straight. I just made my move, and I got lucky. Like, that's all I'm gonna call it, because anything could have happened here. That was so fun.
Did you think you made that move a lap too early, or did you just stick to the move?
Yes and no. I didn't necessarily want to be in the lead that early, but at the same time, if I was running with like only one or two other cars, then I'm just going to be in the back. But we had too big of a pack to be in the back. That's too many spots to make up. So I wanted to be up front, maybe lose a couple on the lap, and hold on if I can. And like I said, like I didn't know what happened. It was like my best guess at the time, and I just got lucky and it worked out.
Well, congratulations. You win here tonight in Formula V's. Can we expect a double win in the Spec Racer Ford?
No, everyone's going to give me, I'm not going to say it, almost did. Everyone's going to give me caca, because no, I'm not racing the bathtub with everyone else. Not my favorite car. I do them from time to time. I'll do the race on Sunday, but I didn't have any time to even learn that car on this track at all yet, so I don't want to embarrass myself. Or I could be really cool and be like, yo, I want to give someone else a chance to win. So, but that's not true at all.
Well, congratulations. You go on the winner's wall, and we'll see you next week then.
All right. Thanks so much, guys.
Yep. Congratulations, Michelle.
Thanks.
All right. There we go. Round one of the doubleheader complete. And now we move to the Spec Racer Ford here, Charles, and you've been talking up this race, and I just really got to know, is that what we're going to expect here tonight?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, just expect that, except these cars are just going to beat and bang on each other, and it won't be overly dramatic, but they can take a bit of beating as they're coming through these final couple of corners, so you will see some body contact, and it may be three wide, three deep by the time we get to the start finish line. So we'll see how it all works out, but I'm looking forward to the race.
Well, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to get ready here for Spec Racer Ford of this doubleheader of Rake Esports Club Racing League here at Willow Springs. Don't touch that browser. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Through dip 50, slowing crest 40, one left. caution to 2 right short to 5.
Introducing the Sim Motion Rally Sequential Shifter. Our shifter is specifically designed for sim racing enthusiasts who want to enhance their experience in the rally world using a push-pull system. Compatible with wheelbases like the Sim Magic Alpha series, V&M Direct Drive, Fanatic, and Simicube, it can easily be installed in minutes. It also has the adjustability to suit any wheel or driver's needs. It's also plug and play with titles like Dirt Rally, iRacing, and WRC. Available now at sim-motion.com. Sim Motion has teamed up with iRacing and V&M Simulation with an extreme prize package for Season 4. To win, paint any car with a Sim Motion logo, race in 10 official iRacing events, and you are entered to win an extreme direct drive and GT wheel bundle. But that's not all. Compete in the Formula 1600 Fixed Series, win your division, and you could score this set of pedals. Gear up and get racing. The rewards are waiting. With years of experience and a passion for customer service, Sim Motion is a trusted name for Sim Magic products. Whether you're just getting started or a seasoned pro, we have the gear to get you on the podium. At Sim Motion, we don't just sell gear, we feel your passion for sim racing.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Willow Springs here on Slow Motion Broadcasting for the Ray Esports Club Racing League. Adam Thompson here, the Dry Thompson, and Charles Boschel in the booth tonight with Joshua Wilkie, our wonderful producer, who had a lot of work to do. And Charles, the last race, just to recap that, Michelle Lynn with a big-time win in the Formula V's.
Yeah, absolutely. Great ending to that race. Well-deserved victory by Michelle. And, that's kind of what we're expecting tonight. I'm expecting something, I say this, and every time I say I think it's going to be a very close finish, it ends up being like this monster blowout for whatever reason. So I'm hoping this is the reverse commentator's curse this time, and it's actually close. But these races, especially with these cars, the way they draft, and you're basically, once again, we're talking about the cars essentially flat all the way around from once you get out of Monroe's Ridge, all the way back around to the start-finish line and into turn one. These cars are just absolutely just pegged to the floor. And as you can see, the top three separated by less than a tenth of a second in our qualifying runs here. As we see Josh Justice just come in P7, 17 hundredths back of Brad Cathcart, who's currently sitting on top of the pole as qualifying is actually wrapping up right now.
There we go. Qualifying all done here, as we had kind of an interview to do and things in between the Formula V race and this race. Michelle Lynn calls these cars the bathtubs. I'm going to call them bathtubs on wheels. Yep. Very interesting cars, the Spec Racer Fords. They're fun to drive, but also at the same time can be a little bit of a struggle depending on which track you're racing them on. Not one of my favorites. I actually like the Radicals more, but we get to see these cars in action here. And let's take a look at the grid here for this one. Your front row on the pole, the 905 of Brad Cathcart, and in second place, the number 1 of Aaron Bray.
Scott Russell starts in P3, and Joseph Tarantino on the outside of row 2 and 4th.
Row number 3, Jim Brewster in the 933, and Edgar Santinelli in the 57 and 6.
Josh Justice starts in 7th, and Chuck Labano outside in position number 8.
Rounding out the top 10 is going to be the 233 of Matt Thompson and the 15 of Ryan Campbell in 10th.
Christian Rasputo in 11th and Seth Bowman in 12th. Sorry, cleared my throat and forgot to unmute my mic. Sorry about that.
And we only got a couple more rows to go here, and the 7th row is Jaquan Effinger and Kent Estep. In the final row, Wayne Buttermore and Trenton Kramer, who was very close to winning that Formula V race. So that is your lineup here. Brad Cathcart looking for redemption after finishing 3rd, or was it 3rd or 2nd? Can't remember. That race
I think actually he was challenging for the win, but I think actually ended up 5th in that first race. So because he had the contact with Kramer at there on the start-finish straight.
Yes.
So yeah. So and then Kramer is starting in the back because he did not set a qualifying time. So obviously one of the last cars to get out of the race, and so just decided, you know what, I'm going to take a breather for a minute. We'll start from the back, have a little fun. He'll start driving his way up through the field, I'm sure. As we go, we'll get to keep an eye and see if he can do the last to first challenge tonight.
So just to give a recap for everybody, Nick Rice-Puto was last week's doubleheader winner. He won both the Formula V and the Spec Racer Ford at Summit Point. He is starting in the 11th spot tonight. So he's got some work to do.
No, I have to correct you on that. That's Christian that's starting in 11th. Nicholas is not here tonight. So he's taking the week off for whatever. Yes, the brothers, Nick and Christian.
Brothers.
Yeah, so Christian is actually starting this race in 11th. But I had actually had a pretty good run last week himself. I think he ended up with maybe a little bit of drama toward the end of the race, but had a good run going. Was running up front with his brother at Daytona in one of the previous rounds as well, up in the top 5. So, he'll put on a good show as well tonight. So,
I'm expecting bump drafting now.
Oh, definitely.
I want to see that with these cars. We saw a little bit of it in the Formula V's. It's just really hard because they have pretty much a pointed nose, kind of that, the front part of it is flat, but nothing like these cars. These cars pretty much drive like a stock car, just a little bit more downforce. So, that dang Toyota Camry still on the track. We're going to get them pushed off here as they come through turn number 9 here. Everybody just going to form up here. You can see P2 kind of laying a little bit back here. This is going to be interesting. But, ladies and gentlemen, it's Spec Racer Fords here at Willow Springs, and we are green. There we go. Just again, 5 seconds too early on that. But green, and away we go. Cathcart getting a good jump on the field here, but 3 wide further back, 2 by 2. As they go through turn 1, everybody trying to make it through here. And you can just tell Cathcart he's going to have some fight here with Aaron Bray, who gets a nose out in front into turn number 2. Nobody so far spinning out. There's the 20 of... who's the 20?
Trenton Kramer. No, that's the 444. That's just part of his paint. That is Trenton Kramer in the 444 car, up 11 positions since the start of the race.
Kramer, good jump from him, 12 spots. And we got 1 slow on the inside, everybody having to avoid. And that is Aaron Bray, the race leader at 1 point here in the opening lap, down to last place. Our 15th place to be to be exactly right there. Let's take a look and see what happened. You can see everybody just cutting into that grass. These cars are a little bit easier to drive on the dirt and grass in the Formula V, and just went a little wide.
Yeah.
Luckily, didn't. Oh, somebody else went off there too. That was Buttermore. Luckily, Bray did not step back on the throttle and try and make the jump there and land back out on track.
Yeah,
So
that would have been terrible because it took about half the field out. Yeah, just too wide on that left-hander coming into the balcony, and just said, you know what, I'm just going to take it through the dirt, and we'll come out on the other side, and we'll rejoin nicely back into the back of the pack, and we'll see if we can work our way back up to the front.
And now we're just waiting here. We did have a change of race lead. Kramer was up in the second spot last I saw, and then Scott Russell is in the lead now. So Scott Russell, your race leader here, as they go up towards Booz County here, and he gets a little loosey-goosey, dips a tire into the dirt, and Kramer now takes the race lead, and this is when it gets interesting. Again, Kramer is in the number 20 car on track, but he's going to show up as the 444. Speaking of which, got to talk to him about that. Make sure you have the right number on your car. And look at Jim Brewster, was 9th. It was 8th in the Formula V race, currently 5th here in the Spec Racer Ford. And you can tell these guys are really trying to wheel them through as they come through turn 9. Yes, that's the corner name, turn 9. With all these other names, they did not find anything original for this final turn. I find that interesting, actually. But Kramer out in front, Scott Russell in second, and Brad Cathcart, our pole sitter, now being passed by that's Joseph Tarantino. Don't know if he has any relationship to Quentin Tarantino. It would be an interesting question to ask him if we get a chance to interview him after this one. But he's kind of in that nice Lotus livery, kind of an invert Lotus livery. You know what the Lotus colors were, but you can tell he is trying to find a way. He goes a little bit wide on exit to try and get a little extra momentum as they now will climb the hill to Budweiser balcony. And you can see Scott Russell maintaining that race lead, but nobody is going away quietly here as there's just a little bit of a gap here between a couple of packs here, like not even a second. It's about just over a half second, but growing between Joshua Justice and Ryan Campbell Charles.
Yeah, absolutely. It's still early yet, so this pack will kind of stretch and come back together as mistakes get made. As we saw, as we're watching this battle up front between Kramer and Russell, I was going to say, Kramer actually led the last lap, so he went from last to first in 2 laps. So he's up from the back of the field up to the front. As you can see, the car's now 2 wide, coming down the start-finish straight. We got Cathcart running in third, and he's just trying to find a person to race with. It looks like he's going to take the outside line coming into the corner. Nice and easy does it as we got a nice 6-car battle up in the front, and we've got a little bit of a gap, as you said, with another 5 or 6 cars behind that. So still early yet. We're only at the 5-minute mark of a 30-minute race. There'll be plenty of chances for passes and shenanigans as we continue forward during this race.
It is a 30-minute race, and I don't know if our producer Josh can get a replay of the start from Kramer's view. I want to see this. I want to see what. Oh, we have lost the replay of the beginning. We did have a slight issue with some timing and scoring, so very unfortunate because I was hoping to see that, but that's okay because Kramer is in the second spot. Here we go. We're still side by side here as they go in through turn number 9. Again, this turn 9 extends so much. Oh, a little bit of a kind of a shove there by Kramer up on the inside there. But Brad Cathcart, he is there. He thinks about trying to split the dice, but he decides against it. And here they go, side by side. Oh, almost a little bump there by Cathcart on the back of Scott Russell. And Kramer retakes the lead. And we're only 6 minutes into this, Charles. And this is getting a little spicy, not like the Formula V race, which got single file about 10 minutes into it. We got a lot of guys who are trying to do a little bit of bumping and banging here, NASCAR style.
Yeah, but you know what I'm seeing is those front three. I was watching Cathcart, and he had an opportunity to kind of pick a lane. Trouble. Scott Russell.
He slammed the brakes in there. Yeah, he slammed on the brakes. I don't know if he locked up or what exactly happened in front of him, but now he's got a rear bumper broken, and then he gets rammed into again. Who just rammed into him? He came down the hill quickly.
Christian Rasputo with the front end damage as he's made contact with Russell in Russell's car. I was looking for his number, can't find it, but that's okay. So yeah, looks like there was some drama between Russell and either Cathcart or Kramer up front. Obviously had some damage, and then Rasputo just unfortunate that Russell was a little bit off the pace. Didn't quite realize it as we see the 15 car on the outside there. That is Ryan Campbell.
Now let's look here. What exactly happened as they went up the hill into Boozer County? And he just lost it.
He did.
And then he got hit from behind.
Yeah.
And now they go around down the hill, and Rasputo, he was a missile coming down the hill here. Just an absolute missile.
Yeah, he was very aggressive on that inside move, trying to get around Brewster. Just probably a little over-eager there, and made contact with Russell. Russell obviously got some serious rear end damages in the pits now. Looks like he obviously, I think with this 30-minute race, I don't think they're really they don't have to have pit stops, so maybe he's not set up, so he didn't have his fast repair clicked, or he didn't have his fuel unchecked, so he's in the pits for an extended time, and that may be the end of his competitive race tonight. So Kramer up front with almost a 2-second gap over Cathcart and Justice.
Yeah, and he's still in the pits as Scott Russell, as the field will come through to put him one lap down. Imagine being out in front for the race lead, and now you are officially a lap down here. Just due to I would say definitely driver error. He did make a mistake in there, but then he got punished for that mistake by Rasputo. And looking back, we see our battle for second, Joshua Justice. He's a second place type of guy, it seems like, tonight, as he is trying to run his way through the field. Maybe doesn't let Kramer this time doesn't allow the leader to get away, but it's a 2.1 second gap between first and second place. But guess who's there? Cathcart. Cathcart is not going anywhere because he is right on the back bumper, and you can see, look at this angle down the hill they go, and you can just see they're on the brakes a little bit here, just to try and slow down the car. And then through Monroe Ridge they go, and now back being flat on the loud pedal. And now Cathcart looking around the outside this time. He is almost alongside as they go into turn number 9 after the sweeper. And you can see Cathcart takes that second spot away here. Hits, I don't know if there was contact with him in a car, or was that the curbing?
That was the curb on the inside of turn 9.
And now here comes Justice. He's got his nose right underneath Cathcart, but Cathcart not going to be distracted by that through turn 1. Come on, Justice, you got to get on the back, and then you just got to keep it down. Got to keep that throttle down. We got to see some bump drafting here. Further back, Aaron Bray, who is at one point leading, got into the dirt and just lost it, and had fallen back very far back, and now is back up in the 7th. But here's Brewster, who somehow survived the incident between Rasputo and Russell. This man's got to be one of the luckiest guys out there. because he's had to avoid some incidences tonight, and he has done quite well at that. So that 9:33, currently just trying to pull out a gap and maybe get to Joseph Tarantino. And, you know, again, 3-car battle for a top 4-car battle for a top 5 here. Back out in front, Trenton Kramer, the 444, who's also wearing the number 20, who was at one point the pole sitter in the Formula V, had an incident, got sent back, then had to fight his way through, finally gets back up to the leaders, and then gets wrecked. So that's how his night has gone.
Yep.
Not the best nights, but he's trying to make that up now. And look at these lap times here, a 1:25.2 that last time for Kramer. The fastest lap time going to Aaron Bray with a 1:25.216. So Aaron Bray definitely has the speed in the car. Just a matter of just trying to navigate the field. And he's wearing the number 1, so that's interesting. Matt Thompson in that green 233 machine. He's also putting on some pressure here on Aaron Bray, Charles. And you can feel the pressure in these types of cars because you know you can bump with them.
Exactly right. Yeah. You know you can make some contact without doing a whole lot of damage, as we saw with Justice and Cathcart. I think that's really what Justice was just doing, was just giving Brad a little bump draft down the front straight, seeing if he can tighten that gap up. But Kramer out front seems to be the class of the field thus far. Is up to a 3.2 second lead, along with Bray's got a good recovery going on. Obviously, you talked about it, that incident up in the balcony at lap 1. Fell to the back of the field, back up to P6 with the fastest lap of the race. So he's doing a great job just working the traffic, probably getting drafts where he can, helping his lap times out, and he's working his way slowly but surely back up toward the front. You can see, with a bump, Sanchinelli, you got to be careful there. You got to be lined up when you do that. You can't have any jostling around, or that's basically just spinning the car out. So, great job by Sanchinelli. Hang on, and he just goes off wide, as you said. Maybe a little too much pressure from behind, and he's made a little mistake going through that corner.
As our producer Josh just said in our ears, that's rude, and it was rude. Okay, take me out to dinner first, okay? Right. And Sanchinelli, he is not at all succumbing to this pressure. He is absolutely just doing his best here. But Aaron Bray, he leaves the door open, Sanchinelli does, and almost loses the spot, gets into the dirt, but is able to drive down the hill and gain a little bit of time back that he almost lost there. Aaron Bray, he was that close to making the move. And Brewster, who's now in P8, not sure what has quite happened to him, but he likes that P8 spot, it seems like, as we go to the top view of the car.
Yeah, we're still only 14 minutes into the race, and since we've got Jim on the screen, I have to say hello to Jim's sister Tam, who's in the chat as always in the YouTube channel. So hello, Tam, down in Argentina. Always watches the broadcast. Doesn't matter where we're broadcasting. If Jim's on the stream, Tam will be watching, and it's great to see. It's absolutely, and Tam is a joy to talk to. We had a chance to have her in the booth in another life, and it was fantastic. So hello to her. And Jim is still doing good. He's running 8th, but he's a stone's throw from P4. So he's in a good spot for right now.
So everybody still kind of jockeying for position here. Now Aaron Bray thinks about making the move and has to back out of it. Just can't quite get the outside run in these cars like you can in the Formula Vs. Again, they're a little bit of a heavier car. And when I say a little bit, I mean a lot. You have these wide body, almost stock cars, but prototype car mix. Definitely very fun to drive around, especially a course like this, because it is a high-speed course. You can really allow these cars to just run here. As now Aaron Bray, and who is that going down the inside? That's is the 233 of Matt Thompson.
Oh, Thompson, I'm sorry. Read the wrong name. Yeah, Thompson, nice move. Kind of just working his way through that gap. get out and lead, but leads here short-lived. Get them to start finish straight. Oh, little bump. Oh, easy on the bump drafts.
You got to square them up and then hit.
That's right.
Not try and move, because that's how you turn somebody into the wall, and that's a no-no.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, ideally what you want to do is you want to get right up on them out of turn 9 and just match speeds and push them, as opposed to actually bumping them. You just really want to just lock the two cars together and push, and that's how you're going to make your top speed going down that start finish straight. So yeah, the bumps are a little are annoying and a little scary when the rear end of your car wants to kind of lift up off the ground, which they have a tendency to do if you hit them too hard.
Yeah, and in that instance, they were heading up towards that the front straight isn't completely flat. There's a little bit of a elevation change. It's not much, and you'll see it next time we go by. And if you hit somebody just right there, you're asking for trouble doing that. So you got to be careful. Through the sweeper into turn number 9 here, and you can see we're actually getting closer to Joseph Tarantino here, and we are right there with Joseph Tarantino. Now Tarantino's going to be going, oh no. Oh no, this is not what I wanted. I was having a nice, lonely, quiet race, and now I got company. And Matt Thompson takes advantage of the draft and gets by Tarantino into turn 1, slides up the track, and they're both off the track.
Ooh, yeah, that was a little bit of follow the leader, I think. What they call target fixation. You see the car in front, you're chasing him down, he goes off the track, and you just basically follow him.
Hey, as long as nobody wrecks, it's all good. It's all good as Aaron Bray gets a little wide and allows Sancinelli to come on through the Argentinian. Is that the Argentinian flag? I think that is correct.
I think that is correct.
All right. I'm getting used to these flags here. So Tarantino now having the chase after having a very lonely and quiet race through the first 17 minutes of this one, now has to work. He's probably not happy about that. I wouldn't be either, as Matt Thompson is just probably waiting for them to make contact and take advantage of that, which again, I don't blame him. I would do the same thing.
Yep.
So up into Boozer County, or what we call, that could have been a disaster. Woof. Okay, you guys don't need to drive like you've been drinking 12 Budweisers today. So, but Sancinelli does manage to get the spot. Let's take a look at that one more time. Again, bump by Aaron Bray. Aaron Bray is he likes the bump cars. He's playing a little bit of bumper car action out there. Sancinelli on the inside. There is Tarantino on the outside. Sancinelli then thought about tucking back in. He actually stays on that outside line through turn number 2. Again, this is going to get interesting here in just about a moment here. And here we go. This is where the action happens. Oh, and the lead, and Matt Campbell got into the dirt. Now that's not Campbell, that's Matt Thompson. Matt Campbell's a darts player in Europe. But Thompson almost lost it for a minute. And while we were talking, everything has now changed. Something has happened. Aaron Bray has taken the 4th spot. Jim Brewster, guess what? He's into 6th now. So he's gained 2 spots from that 8th place there. So
Yeah, get another
So
replay here. Yeah.
So let's see what has happened here.
All right, we got a car off wide. Yeah.
That's Tarantino. What happened to Ryan Campbell or Matt Thompson? What happened there?
Not really sure. Didn't really see us. Sitting there. Noticed Tarantino off. That's a really weird spot to be wide out there, outside of turn 8, outside the sweeper, and then into 9 as well. As we're back on board here with Aaron Bray, Jim Brewster moving up to 5th, made a pass over Matt Thompson.
Oh, and Antonelli is out wide.
Outside. He's got damage on the front. I think it's from one of those bump draft attempts up on the right front. And these cars are already a little bit understeery anyway, just naturally. So I'm wondering if he's got a little bit of an aero wash problem with the front end of that car that's giving him a little bit of trouble.
Well, look at Aaron Bray's front of his car. We can get a look at that as we're seeing some close action here. But the front of Aaron Bray's car, I mean, look at it. It is dented up. It is. And we're taking a look here at Josh Justice going down the hill from Budweiser Balcony, or as I like to call it, Boozer County. And you can see he is still under pressure by Brad Cathcart. Cathcart doing a great job here, keeping that pressure on. So Cathcart is just not letting Justice go. There's a good look of Aaron Bray's hood there again. Look at that. It is dented up. He has put that bumper to some people tonight. Not once, not twice, but several times.
Oh, no.
And look at Matt Thompson. He has recovered. And I think the same thing is happening to Bray. I think he's getting a little bit of that understeeriness that's already natural with the car, but with how scratched up and dented up that car is. I think he's experiencing the same thing, Charles.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you can see the tires on the outside of the fenders on the front of that car, the front of the car is damaged. They are usually covered up in the normal spec. And I did notice that Jim Brewster is off the track in the pit, so I'm not sure what happened. And maybe the overlay issues will allow us to, once we get that settled, will allow us to go back and look at that replay, because I'm kind of curious as to what happened. He was having a good running that second group with Bray and Thompson and Campbell. As we see Bray just a little deep there, and we see Thompson coming around the outside and is able to make that pass stick. So great run on the outside there by Thompson.
Yeah, Thompson really holding it on the outside. Got a little close with Aaron Bray, just like less than an inch separating the two. And let's take a look at the replay with what happened to Brewster here. Brewster, again, was running really well. Fighting for position. Oh, he got sent. He got sent.
That's the crash of the night. Look at that. It's up into the catch fence.
Jeez. He got sent to the shadow realm. Let's take a look at that one more time. Not sure if contact was a factor. We'll find out.
I think that's either contact or net code for sure.
Oh. We can get a view of the people next to him, which I think was Ryan Campbell. So Ryan Campbell is on Brewster's inside here. We actually will have a better look here. Oh, that was definitely contact. That was no net code. He got sent to the shadow realm, and that car is junked and totaled. Hopefully he had good insurance on it, and Matt Thompson is into the third spot because of everything that has happened here. And what has happened here? Again, we go to a replay, and Trenton Kramer is out of the lead.
So this looks like this may be a disconnect. Trenton Kramer is disconnected. Connection dropped due to download loss. So, So internet issues is the killer for Kramer. And he's had that issue before during the course of this season. So tough breaks, and now we've got a we got a 2-car battle for the lead here between Justice and Cathcart, and we got Brewster a lap down. Has decided he's just going to hang out and just kind of get the best seat in the house for this for the finish of this race.
Well, let's head up back out to our leaders here. Josh Justice, Brad Cathcart. That's unfortunate for Kramer. 2 races that he could have won, and he's not, and he's going to walk away without a gold medal tonight. So unfortunate for him. And he's just been on, I mean, it's not like he hasn't had a good run. He's had some very good pace tonight, and just has been involved in incidences, and then his connection drops. That's a rough night at the office there. But Josh Justice having to run away from Brad Cathcart. And Cathcart, I would not be surprised to see him win this because he is in the draft.
Yep.
He had an opportunity to win the Formula V race. So am I wrong in thinking that there, Charles?
Well, it just depends. It's a little bit of a different situation. These 2 cars, Justice was running second in that Formula V race, but then the pack kind of caught up to him, and that kind of turned things around. I mean, this time it's about a 7-second gap back to P3. So it's as long as the lap cars are nice, and yep, as we see them pass, I believe that's Buttermore. Yep, nice. He just gets out of the way, lets these 2 leaders go through. It just depends on what kind of move he makes and when he makes it. You make this too early, and you end up with that opportunity of getting passed back. And we've seen strange things in these Spec Racer races where they'll end up being 2 or 3 seconds a lap slower because they don't want to be the car in the lead, and they're just trying to give it up to somebody else. So we'll see if Justice gets a little lucky tonight, or if Cathcart can make the move to win the race. Be white flag at the line, I believe.
So one more time around here at Willow Springs. Josh Justice, your race leader, Cathcart, is there. So they go through the sweeper into turn 9, and here we go. Will the move be made 1 lap too early? That is going to be the question here for Cathcart. Does he make the move now, or does he try and maybe be patient? Further back, that battle with that group of cars is pretty much finished because, well, a few of those cars have been involved in a couple of incidences here. So here we go. White flag one more time around the 2.5 mile Willow Springs in our final race of the night. And you can see Cathcart, he's just trying to stick with it, but Josh Justice, he gets a little bit of a gap. This is working for Justice right now as they go in to the, I would say, the toughest section of the course into Budweiser Balcony, Boozer County. And now here goes Cathcart, tries to make a lunge to try and just get to the back bumper of Justice, but it doesn't work, and he actually lost time doing that. Now down the hill they go through Monroe Ridge. This is where it's going to get interesting because now you've got this long straight, and Justice has got to be careful here. Cathcart's going to give it everything that car can give him. And here he goes. He's looking down the inside. He has the inside line. He has the preferred line in through the sweeper, but sweeps out wide. Here they come into turn 9. Josh Justice didn't get the job, but Cathcart is there. Contact. The leaders hit each other. Justice is sent off, and Cathcart's going to win the race.
Is he? No, he's not.
No, wait, Matt Thompson, he gets the lead. Cathcart got sent off after contact, and Matt Thompson wins.
Wow.
What the hell?
I'm gonna say that obviously a great race. I'm gonna say that that was just some really good sportsmanship by Cathcart. That was not how you wanted to win the race, and he just basically parked the car on the outside there. as Josh Justice was get gathered back up out of the dirt and into pit lane, and that's that curb on the inside of 9, and it's caught people out there. We've seen so many wrecks there, especially in the last lap, where that curb just catches people out and it kicks you out to the middle of the track. And as you can see, Justice over in the pit lane, Cathcart over in the dirt on the opposite side of the track, and Thompson takes the victory.
Well, that was unexpected. Well, Matt Thompson, he is going to be, he's going to be sitting there going, what the hell happened? How did I win this?
Yeah.
How in the world did I win this race? Yeah, you're right, that curb.
Yeah. If I can just talk to my producer, Josh, give me the replay of maybe the nose cam on Cathcart's car coming into there. Want to just see that. Yeah, that's just it. You just get on the inside. Like I said, there's a little divot there in the track at the apex of that corner, and it just will send your car wide if you just catch it wrong. And you can see as you just watch it, you can just see the compression, and then the next thing you know, you're into the bricks of the curb, and then the next thing you know, you're into the car on the outside.
One more look at it.
Yeah.
Josh Justice had the win, and unfortunately will not get it tonight. Some unfortunate luck for him in back-to-back races. But 2 new winners for this season, Charles.
Yeah, absolutely.
We had Michelle Lynn in the Formula V, who had a terrific win, and then Matt Thompson really steals this. I mean, he stole this win tonight. Taking a look at the final results, Matt Thompson wins, Aaron Bray in second, Joseph Tarantino third, Edgar Sancinelli in fourth, Ryan Campbell in fifth. Sixth place will be Seth Spillman, and Brad Cathcart will finish in that 7th spot. Chuck Labano in 8th, Ken Estep in 9th, and rounding out our top 10, Jaquan Eppinger.
Yep, Josh Justice finishes in 11th. Jim Brewster, sorry about that, buddy. Didn't mean to commentator curse you. Finishes in 12th, a lap down. Wayne Buttermore in 13th. Trenton Kramer 14th with the disconnect after leading the majority of the race after starting in the back and working his way to the front in 2 laps. Just a tough way to end up back in 14th. Scott Russell in 15th, and then Christian Rice Pudo rounds out your 16-car field.
Well, there we go. A doubleheader here tonight with 2 new names going to the winner's wall here at Ray Esports Club Racing League here on Slow Motion Broadcasting. And wow, 2 good races, lots of action. And next week, we head to Road Atlanta. Oh boy. If it was anything like tonight, well, that's going to be an interesting race because that is not an easy track to navigate. So let's go ahead and let's talk to our Spec Racer Ford winner, Matt Thompson. Let's get his viewpoint on that after thinking he was going to finish third and gets a win. Matt Thompson, our race winner here in the Spec Racer Ford race here tonight at Willow Springs. Matt, that was unexpected.
Yeah, that was very unexpected. I was sitting there 5.5 seconds behind those guys and just couldn't close the gap, and they're sitting on the side of the track.
And you get the win.
Yes, I'll take it, but that's not the way to win.
Yeah. Well, you had some great battles there. You were having the battle 4 cars, 5 cars, it seemed like. Talk us through that race and just having the fight to survive that.
Had to recalibrate from the Formula V's earlier, and it was I was way off pace. Didn't qualify well. Ended up pretty good pack there with Edgar and Ryan and Aaron Bray, and Jim and another guy, and it was fun. I mean, these cars are hilarious at that track. I've driven there before. My Discord icon is actually my car on that track, so I know I've been around it a few times. But yeah, that was the draft was crazy. You get some runs, you get in front, you mess up going into a corner because you're braking too late. They get around. It was exciting the whole time.
Most definitely, in this, even though you didn't want to win like this, a win's a win. Your name's going on the winner's wall. And we have 2 new names going up there for the season. That's got to feel, like you at least accomplished something here tonight.
Yeah, I'm enjoying these cars. I kind of started fresh with I'd done a little bit with them way back before the changes, and then I started fresh with this Club Racer series and the Weekend Warriors, and I'm loving them. They're a lot of fun. A lot of analogy to the Mustangs, which I love. So,
Charles, any questions for our race winner?
Yeah, well, since Matt's actually driven at the track before, I'm just kind of wondering how the digital version stacks up to the real thing.
It's pretty close. It's terrifying around the last corner, just like it is in real life. When they first brought the track out, the curbs would destroy your suspension, just like the real track. It's pretty darn close. I definitely I wish they'd had rain on iRacing back when I drove it last time, because I went out in January and then in my daughter's V6 Mustang, because there was snow on the track. That was a couple of years ago. It was a wild day. It was very, very greasy the whole day.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Snow? I didn't hear that clear. Snow on the track.
Well, Matt, we're gonna wrap the interview up and congratulate you again, and let you give any thanks to anybody you want to shout out tonight.
Thanks to Stevie for putting this on. Thanks to Ed and all the Frito Sport for bringing me in and helping me become a better driver, and all the rest of the drivers for a great time on track. So, thank you all.
Yes, sir. Have congratulations. Have a good night. We'll see you next week.
All right.
And that was Matt Thompson, the race winner for tonight. And we have Adam back. See if
I think we do.
Audio. All right, there we go.
Yeah, there we go.
And so we're gonna, and let's go ahead and interview. Let me go ahead and interview Josh Justice, and we'll bring him in. Looked like he had the at least a chance to win this race. Josh, so started off where you were running up to the front, but you had got a pretty good gap up to Kramer. He'd kind of checked out on you guys, and then he had internet issues, so it left you and Cathcart. And we've seen enough drama in that final corner on the last lap to know that there was a good possibility that something may happen. But it's a tough break. Anytime it happens, it's a tough break. You and Brad ran a great race, and I know he showed some pretty good sportsmanship. He basically could have went back on the track, and he just said, "You know what? That's not how I want to win this thing," and let the rest of the field go.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because when I got control of the car, my pit speed the pit speed indicator was up, so I realized that I had gone in the pit. And so I was gonna go back through the road and drive on the track and go to the finish line. I wasn't able to because I had already gone in the pit. And then as I'm driving through the pit, it tells me I've got an unsafe pit entry. But, they are pretty unsafe sideways. But it's unfortunate because my pit stop is after the start finish line. So obviously you're not able to even serve the penalty when that happens. And if you have those of you who've had a penalty on the last lap know that if you can't serve a penalty on in iRacing and you cross the finish line with the checkered flag, basically it makes you the last car on the lap. Yeah. So that's unfortunate because I did cross the line in like 7th place, but iRacing bumped me down to the last car on the lead lap. At least in the official result. So I don't know what TV gonna do for the point. Whether I'm gonna be creative with 7th or 11th, I'm not sure. It's really unfortunate because, of course, I deserve, really, if you take Trenton into account, I deserve a podium spot on speed. But it's racing, and that's the kind of thing that happens sometimes. I did get the podium in the Formula V with, a super close finish in the Formula V. I haven't haven't had time to see how close that was. I know it was like a 10th or less.
I think, if I remember correctly, I think it was 300ths of a second. So it was very tight.
Yeah, that was very tight. Michelle is just enough weaving the breaker draft to keep me from getting all the way there by the time we got to the finish line. That's the thing about this track, the finish line is so far down from the turn, we already have a chance to get the clean shot to happen. And it really was impressive that Michelle managed to actually stay in front when she was in first. Because I deliberately, I think she faked making a mistake. I don't know for sure if she actually made a mistake or she faked it, but she faked making a mistake. And I was like, I'm not passing her, I'm going to stay behind. I want to be in second. And, she almost lost like 2 spots and finished third, but she managed to hold on, so, congratulations to her.
Yep.
This way, you're really unfortunate that everybody who deserved a podium spot didn't get one.
Yeah, for sure. That's how these work, is, everybody's out there running, trying to get it, and sometimes things happen that are within your control, sometimes not. So, Josh, we're going to let you go, and we'll let you give any thanks or shout outs that you want to give before we let you get out of here for tonight.
Michelle just said that she get back off on purpose. Okay. I like to give thanks to, everybody who's doing work on the car. My mechanic in real life had some issues with my car, blew the tie rod, and getting that all replaced in time for the next race in a couple weeks. So, Spec Race Report doing a great job on getting the parts turned around. There's a Spec Racer CR based out of Houston, and they've done an amazing job in terms of getting the parts to me. I've never missed a race because of parts availability or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just really, really good group of people for making racing happen.
All right, Josh. Well, tough luck tonight. Hopefully, you'll have a better result next week, and that's when we'll see you again. So take care of yourself.
Yep. See ya.
And that was Josh Justice. Fighting for a win. Ends up with a podium in the Formula V race, but just comes up a corner short in the Spec Racer race tonight.
Well, we saw some great action tonight. We've seen some drivers really having to navigate some heartbreak. They'll have to just go back to the drawing board, go, what can we do better next week? And next week, again, Road Atlanta, which is completely different to Willow Springs. A lot more turns, but still the same high speed.
Yeah, absolutely. The Road Atlanta's, obviously fantastic track. And so we'll be looking forward to another great race. I believe that's the Massa doubleheader next week. So that'll be some fantastic battles.
Yes, for sure. All right, so upcoming here on Slow Motion broadcasting, we have the American Muscle Series. You got the Ford Mustang there. That's 9:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Slow Motion Broadcasting here. And again, you can watch that on YouTube. On Wednesday nights, of course, we have the Ray Esports Club Racing League, which is what you watched tonight, and then the Sim Racers Group at 9:45 Eastern. That race has actually just gotten underway just about 30 minutes ago. Saturdays at 2:20 p.m. Eastern Time, you have the Weekend Warriors in the Formula Vs. And then at Sundays at 12:45 Eastern, you have Esports racing here. Weekend Warriors in the FF 1600. And then Sundays at 2:45 p.m. Eastern, you have, again, the Spec Racer Ford here, Weekend Warrior season series here on Slow Motion Broadcasting. So, well, Charles, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. Thanks for allowing me to be in the booth tonight. And
I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have done it by myself. So I do appreciate you being here, Adam, for sure.
And we appreciate you viewers at home for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, smash the like button if you can. Get this up the board on the YouTube algorithm. And we will see you next week here on Slow Motion Broadcasting. Good night, everybody.
Through dip 50, slowing crest 40, 1 left. Caution to 2 right short to 5.
Introducing the Sim Motion Rally Sequential Shifter. Our shifter is specifically designed for sim racing enthusiasts who want to enhance their experience in the rally world using a push-pull system. Compatible with wheelbases like the Sim Magic Alpha series, V&M Direct Drive, Fanatic, and Simucube, it can easily be installed in minutes. It also has the adjustability to suit any wheel or driver's needs. It's also plug and play with titles like Dirt Rally, iRacing, and WRC. Available now at sim-motion.com. Sim Motion has teamed up with iRacing and V&M Simulation with an extreme prize package for Season 4. To win, paint any car with a Sim Motion logo, race in 10 official iRacing events, and you are entered to win an extreme direct drive and GT wheel bundle. But that's not all. Compete in the Formula 1600 Fixed Series, win your division, and you could score this set of pedals. Gear up and get racing. The rewards are waiting. With years of experience and a passion for customer service, Sim Motion is a trusted name for Sim Magic products. Whether you're just getting started or a seasoned pro, we have the gear to get you on the podium. At Sim Motion, we don't just sell gear, we feel your passion for sim racing.